Cool. All right, let's get started. So you all are here probably because at some point in your internet journey, you've Googled how to make money online. And you probably also have searched it on YouTube and you landed on people like Iman Gadzhi, Alex Ramosi, Alex Becker, or even Luke Belmar. And you probably also still search about it until today, right? So L's for all of you. You've watched everything that they have to offer, and you probably have also considered trying dropshipping, e-commerce, making a social media marketing agency, and a bunch of other side hustles or online business ideas. Chances are, if you're attending this webinar, you're probably still not making good money online. That's why we're here. So if this is one of y'all, please give me L's in the chat and we can proceed. So look, there's a ton of advice on the internet on what you can do on how to make money online, right? But I'm here to give you only a handful, probably only one. I'm not going to tell you that the path to buying a Lambo is through trading cryptocurrency or making a social media marketing agency or doing drop shipping via Shopify. I'm here to tell you that making an online business is actually about being able to make a side income so that you can choose what jobs to take, right? So that you can choose when you want to take a break, so that you can take more control over your life. And that's about it. I'm not promising that you'll become a millionaire. And that you can achieve all of this actually by simply providing value to other people through your expertise. So what is it that you can do? Whatever worked for all these YouTube 20 something millionaires, it might have been, special, or it worked for them. It may not work for you. And to find the answer, we can roll in the Kung Fu Panda clip that me and Steven really like.
It's blank. What? Here, look. No.
Awesome. So in the clip that I just showed you just now, if you don't already get it, often the answer is in the mirror. It's not somewhere else. It's not in some other person. The question is, who are you and what can you provide value to other people, right? So moving on to the next one. Oops. All right, so I'm here to debunk how you can make money online and build an online business from home with a laptop and a simple internet connection. But hold up, who the F am I? My name is Kevin. I'm the co-founder and CEO at Type Dream. And over the past 2 years, I've learned from over 100,000 people who are building their online businesses on Type Dream. And today I'm going to share with you how the top 1% did it, how they were able to pick only the jobs they wanted or even live on their own terms. And before I move on, give me W's in the chat to see if y'all still alive. Dubs on the chat. All right. And for today's webinar, here's the too long didn't read. Number one, find your unfair advantage. Number two, make sure that there is a substantial demand for what you're trying to sell. And then number three, learn how the best people in your niche did it and add your own twist. Later on, I'm going to give you 2 examples of $1 million one-person businesses and open up the floor for the Q&A. Sound good? Awesome. All right, let's move on to the first one. For y'all that have just joined, we're starting on the first point, how to find your unfair advantage. So ask yourself this question, right? Who are you? What are you good at? What did you accomplish? And if you have friends or family, what do people come to you for help with? And here's a couple of examples. Right, there's an endless list of things that you can do. I've listed a couple of here for you nerds or cool kids out there. So number one, ask yourself questions like, did you get into a good college or land a good job, right? Or what do people come to you for help with? Or, if you're a Riz God on Tinder or Hinge. And so a couple of examples that you can see here is getting into a good school like Stanford Business School. A lot of people want to learn from you, and that is something that is easily monetizable. Or you landed a good job at Google as a non-tech person, which is your own twist to it. A lot of people also want to learn from you, and that is easily monetizable. You're a straight A student and you know how to study well. right? What is the end product of this? You can see people who use Pipe Dream, like Islo, who is really good at organizing how he studies and the process of being a very good student. And he created content and sell Notion templates on top of it. Now that guy has made over 6 figures doing that. It's a natural extension of who he is. I mean, the product that he's selling is a very natural extension of who he is. And a couple of other examples, if you're a bit older and you're in America, right, and you've been through the athlete track, you know what it takes to be a D1 athlete. And you can teach parents how to raise their kids to become D1 athlete. Those are some things that are also monetizable. And others, you're so good at dating apps, you can teach other people how to be good like you. If you want to know more ideas that you can work on and how to discover what it is you're good at, what's your unfair advantage, I've listed the link down there. You can join our Discord channel or follow us on all of our social medias where we post daily inspiration. Awesome. All right, let's move on to the next one, guys. Measuring demand. So try to understand how many people want what you got to sell, right? How do you make money? If there's demand for what you want to sell, you're definitely going to make money. So how do you measure demand? Here's a food for thought. There are 2 ways for you to measure demand. Number one, is it a part of a person's life progression? So if it is, there's going to be a huge demand for that wherever you live. I'll give you a couple of examples. As I've mentioned previously, you got into a good college, like, I don't know, in the US, Stanford, MIT, or Harvard, hundreds of thousands of people want to learn from you, even international students too. And parents are willing to pay for that service. Number two, you got into a non-target university, but you got a good job after. Graduates would pay to learn how to land a job like you did. Number three, you're good at making PowerPoints because, I don't know, maybe you're a consultant. You're good at making Notion documents because you work at a startup. You're really good at spreadsheets because you're an auditor. Sell templates, right? You'd be shocked, actually, how many people will buy your templates. And we have seen numerous examples of people actually making, from 5, 6, up to 7 figures selling templates for popular software, right? So the other way for you to measure demand is to assess whether the problem that you're working on is at a local, national, international level. And here are some examples, right? So number one, if you're making a template for a popular software, say presets for videos or photos for Adobe software, that's at an international scale. It's a very big market. And a lot of people can potentially become your customers. Or you want to try selling your expertise on becoming a D1 athlete, right? That's a huge national demand in America, and parents would pay for that service. Or number three, you're good at dating in, say, Thailand or Bali, local level, still a big market, right? So the best way for you to be able to measure demand is for you to figure out if what you're working on is an evergreen question, right? What does it mean by that? People always ask the same questions along the lines of, how do I live a healthy life? How do I get a good education? How do I land a good job? But as the world progresses with time, the answers are always different each time, but the questions stay the same. So if you're working on those things that people are searching for every day on Google, on YouTube, chances are there's a huge demand for what you're trying to sell. All right, let's move on to the next one, the last step. That's a cool picture right there. That's Forbes 30 under sentence. Right there, there's SBF, Elizabeth Holmes from Theranos, and the Jasper founder, John Chicho. But I'm just kidding. Once you've figured out your unfair advantage and you've measured the demand, now your job is to figure out your competition. But don't think about them as competition, though. Try to look at 3 or 5 of the biggest role models in your niche and try to learn from them. If you don't know where to look, you can always start to go to YouTube, Twitter, LinkedIn, subreddits, TikTok, Instagram, basically anywhere online, right? And I want you to learn about how they grew and iterate on that. But I'm not just telling you to watch their videos. Try to actually dig into the comment section. If you're on Reddit, it's amazing. They have this filtering system called Top Hot, right? Rising or whatever that is. That's actually where you find gold on how to grow your own business. That's how you find your twist. That's your entry to the market. So what are these people saying that seems like they're not satisfied with yet, right? So you can try to answer those questions and turn that into your business. So lastly, add the most important thing. So you've learned it all and ask this question to yourself. How can you be unapologetically you? So if you're good at writing tweets and answer questions on X or forums or subreddits, you're good at making videos on top of the business that you're trying to do. Start a YouTube channel. You're really good at speaking. Do a podcast or a webinar, right? Adding your own twist can mean also narrowing your target audience, right? It could be, oh, you live in Singapore or Japan or America, and you're good at doing something in that particular country. That could also be your twist. All right, so let's move on to the next one. Here are some of the $1 million small business examples that I promised to you earlier. Right, so there's this guy, I want you guys to look him up, called Thomas Frank. He started a site as a dorm room project to help fellow students study better. And now he's selling Notion templates that he's doing. He's selling Notion templates and making over $1 million every single year. Does over $100,000 every single month. And if you go check his YouTube channel, he racked over 120 million views on all of his educational videos. So notice this. He's selling something that he's good at, which is a natural extension of himself, which is his unfair advantage. And people really enjoy seeing that. Like a really good student selling templates on how to study, no brainer there. And then number two, so there's this guy. His handle's like Lavelcio on Twitter. So who is this guy? He's called Peter Levels. At the moment, he's doing, I think, about $2.5 million in annual recurring revenue through his indie projects called Nomadless, Remote OK, Photo AI, and Interior AI. So his very first product, I believe, the one that worked at least, was called Nomadless. And the reason why he created that was because he wanted to be a digital nomad. And when he wanted to be a digital nomad, he couldn't find a reliable like Yelp for restaurants in America, resource for him to sort of pinpoint where he can go next. What does it look like in that country? Is the Wi-Fi good? Are there other people coming there? Is the insurance okay? Is the rent expensive? How about the food, all the living costs? So he basically compiled a database that doesn't require a lot of technical knowledge to do. And he posted it on his website called Nomadless. And that particular site is doing over $50,000 in monthly recurring revenue as of today, which is pretty insane. And we're all the way to the end of our webinar. What I wanted to mention to you guys is that for today's webinar, we're basically just trying to figure out the ideation phase on what you can do for your online business, what you can build. On our next series, we'll dive deeper on how you actually get started building it after you've thought about all these things. We're going to be talking about how you build an audience by giving out freebies, and then what paid product are you going to do, setting things up along the way. I might ask my co-founder to tag along with me and show you a couple of examples of the people that have successful online businesses on Typecream, how they do it, and you can copy those people to get started. Cool.